and welcome back to another episode of Not Your Average Fangirl.
I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm your host, Addi. And in today's episode, we are giving you guys our 2023 recap.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it's almost over.
I know. I feel like New Year's Day was literally yesterday. Like, it's insane that the year's already over.
This year was so good, too. Like, it went so quick, and I've literally been saying all the time how I don't want 2023 to be over because it was so good.
Yeah. But that just means 2024 is going to be even better. So
amazing.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully the vibes continue on into next year.
Crossing our fingers. Yes.
This year was so good. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go each month. So we'll go like month by month and say our highlight from the month. And then we're also going to mention like a big pop culture moment or just something that happened that month that's like not necessarily related to us that we just want to mention. And then at the end, we'll tell you guys our top moment of like the entire year.
Yes, we have to. We're also filming today's episode on the same day as we did last episode. So we're not going to be doing a recap. We're just kind of going to get right into it.
Yeah, we're going to skip the previously on this time.
Yeah.
Straight into the episode.
First, we start with January. What is your highlight for January?
So in January, so last year in November, I bought pit tickets for a Harry Styles concert and it got rescheduled because poor Harry got sick. So in January, I went back to LA and it was my like rescheduled date. So I got to see Harry in pit and I camped and I was like second row. I was like, I could touch the barricade from where I was standing and he looked at me and I got an interaction. So that's my top. But I also saw him again 2 nights later,
insane.
I think, because it was just so much fun and he was doing another show like in another city really close to where I was. So I bought tickets to another one and I went again because Harry Styles is addicting.
I remember that like so vividly and I wasn't even there. I just remember like all your posts and everything. Yeah, that looks so fun.
I'm wearing my Soup Crew, but this is the one from November because the one I got in January was pink, but I wanted to wear this one for this video. So
period.
Anyway, what's yours?
My highlight, it's kind of funny. So I love Elvis and like my cousins love Elvis. Like all the girls in our family, a lot of them love Elvis. So I went to New York and we saw an Elvis impersonator and it was like 2 of them and they were like so realistic and like it was almost as like Elvis came back. So it was super fun. We like sang along to everything, but it was just such a fun day for me.
Did you see the movie that just came out? Was it Priscilla?
I didn't. I didn't want to see it because I'm like, I had to stay loyal to Austin Butler, but like Jacob Elordi looks so good in all the clips. I'm gonna have to see it eventually.
I was looking through for like things that happened or came out in January, and the one that I found was that Ginny and Georgia season 2 came out. So that's our mention for pop culture.
So good. I love Ginny and Georgia.
Yeah. Do you think we'll be getting season 3 next year?
I feel like, yeah, we're definitely getting season 3 soon because I feel like it doesn't take them too long to come out with the show, you know?
Yeah. Well, like, even if it's like by the middle of next year, that'll have been like a year and a half since season 2. So I feel like next year, maybe. And moving on to February, what is your highlight from February?
February was kind of a dull month for me, but my highlight is actually from school. So we have this thing called Spirit Week, and it's a whole week of like dressing up and like activities. And the whole point of it is to like get enough points to just like win the entire Spirit Week. So it's like freshmen and seniors and sophomores and juniors. And like we collect coins, we collect cans to donate, and it's just such a big deal and everyone goes all out, so we all love it. I love it, and it was just so good.
Yeah, because most schools have Spirit Week, but they don't do like points or anything.
It's insane. And like you don't win anything, it's just like the bragging rights that you get. You're like, oh, I won Spirit Week. It's a huge deal in my school, so I loved it. What about you?
All right. Mine, so first in February I went to Covington and I got to take like a private tour of the Lockwood Mansion, and I'd never seen like the backyard or anything, and they did so much filming there, so it was really cool. And I got to like go inside and see like everywhere that they filmed there, and it was just really cool. And I made a TikTok in there where I like pretended to fall down the stairs. Like, Lockwood. So that was really fun. And then also I originally am from Missouri and most of my family still lives there, so I went back home to Missouri. And the specific highlight, obviously I loved getting to see my family, but there is this restaurant that's only in the Midwest, and it's called Pasta House. And when I tell you, they have
Ooh.
the best salad on the entire planet. Like the seasoning, the dressing, like it is one of a kind. And my favorite thing about going home is that I get to go to Pasta House and eat the salad. I mean, everything
That
at Pasta
just
House is good.
sounds good.
It's so good. It's like I can't
Mhm.
even describe it to you, but no salad will ever compare to a Pasta House salad. I've never in my life have anything where I was like, "Oh, like this compares." Like literally nothing. It's the best salad on the planet.
I'm gonna have to go to Missouri now, so catch us in Missouri in a little bit.
Trying Pasta House salad. Ugh, now I really want a Pasta House salad, guys.
Sounds bussin'. I'm so hungry right now, so I really want that. So the major like pop culture moment of February was obviously the Grammys. Like the Grammys is such a huge deal.
And the highlight, at least for me from the Grammys, was Harry winning Album of the Year. So that's our
Yay!
yay! And then that's our pop culture moment.
Yay! All right, moving on to March. What do you have for March?
Okay, so first, I think this was literally like the last day in March that this happened, but I hit 100K on TikTok, so that was a really big milestone.
Woo!
I made like a cake and I put all of my like men's faces on it, and I like stuck them into the cake, so that was fun. And then
Iconic.
I took another trip to Covington. I think I went to Covington once a month, honestly, this year, but I got to do like a little photo shoot and take a ride in Stefan's car or a replica of Stefan's car. So thanks to the Mystic Girl, and it was so cool. And like that was just like so much fun, like getting to like be in the car and like I was channeling my inner Stefan. So that was fun.
My
What's yours?
my inner Stefan. Again, March, I feel like the first few months of the new year are kind of dull for me, but it was my 17th birthday and I was just so excited to turn 17. So I'm almost an adult, but I don't know. I love my 17th birthday. I went out to eat at one of my favorite restaurants with all my friends. So definitely a highlight.
And then also, I just wanted to mention this because this is so sad now because this show got canceled. But this was the month that Shadow and Bone season 2 came out. And it was just like, I wish I'd videoed my experience watching it because they did so much justice in season 2. Like season 1 required so much like world building and character building, but season 2 we finally got to kind of see. If you don't know, Shadow and Bone is like one of my favorite shows in the universes, and it's a book series, and one of the books in that universe is called Six of Crows, and it's my favorite book of all time. And my favorite character, like some of my favorite characters from all time, are in that series. So it was just like, I don't know, there's just something about watching your favorite book come to life on a TV, especially when the cast is so good. And so like there would be moments, okay, I just have to mention this. There would be like a moment where they would start to say a quote from the book, because like obviously it's not exactly like the book, but they tend to use like a bunch of the quotes and stuff. And there would be like a moment where one of the characters started to say one of their iconic quotes, and I would finish it, and everyone sitting, because like my family was sitting and watching it with me. I forced them to watch it with
Yeah.
me. But my mom actually also loves it, and my dad is now a Shadow and Bone enthusiast. But we would be like watching it, and they would start to say a quote, and I would finish it, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And my family would just be laughing at me. They were like, "How did you know that?" And I'm like, "Because I just know." Okay, like I could just tell with the way the character was acting.
That's
But
so funny.
it's so sad to think that like I'll never get to do that again with that show because it's so good.
That is
It's
really
so
sad that
sad.
they canceled it. Like I've heard so many good things about that show, especially
Yeah,
from you. But
yeah.
that is really
I
sad.
literally that was like the most heartbreaking thing that like could have ever happened to me. I was so heartbroken when I found out.
Yeah, and our
Anyway,
big pop culture moment was, this is a big one for Taylor Swift fans, was the Eras Tour kickoff.
yeah, I mean it's like the first time she's toured in so long, so
A
definitely a big
long
pop culture
time.
moment. I feel like this was the year of Taylor Swift though. Like she
Oh, for
dominated.
sure. Yeah, she did.
She owned 2023. I mean, she owns the world, okay, but specifically 2023 was a Taylor Swift takeover.
It was, because I feel like for like before this, like I hadn't heard anything like major about Taylor Swift in so long, and then Eras Tour, like she revived. Not saying she was like not relevant, but like this just like blew up.
No, it was definitely the year of Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on into the next month, we've got April. What was your highlight of April?
All right, so I have two. The first one was I went to Vermont for spring break, and I feel like a lot of people go like somewhere warm for spring break, but I went to a colder place and it was just so pretty. I forget the town, but I just loved going to Vermont. And then obviously I was feeling epic
I was feeling
in
epic
Mystic
again.
Falls. I was feeling epic again in Mystic Falls. Sorry. This was the Vampire Diaries convention. I met so many stars and it was awesome. I was in Mystic Falls. I was at the convention. It was so good. I was so happy.
Yeah, I was feeling epic again as mine too, but specifically seeing Daniel again because I've seen Daniel so many times since then. I've gone to like other conventions and obviously with December and stuff, but between October when I met him for the first time and April I didn't see him, so it was like the second time I ever got to see him and he like remembered me and it was so much fun getting to see him again. So specifically seeing Daniel, but obviously just the convention as a whole.
I miss it so much. That was such a good convention. Had to add.
And then for our pop culture moment in April was the last Late Late Show with James Corden, and it had Will Ferrell and Harry Styles helped host it, and it was so sad for it to be over.
Yes,
Moving
those
on.
shows are so good. Next, we have May. What do you have for May?
So I kind of have two again, but so I have two. So first was in May was Prison World Day. So it's the day that Kai's prison world was where Bonnie and Damon were stuck. And there's an iconic scene where Damon's car's at this like little convenience store called Bell's. And again with the Mystic Girl, the owner owns a replica of Damon's car. So she brought it to Bell's and I got to like take pictures, make videos with it with some of my friends. And it was so like just crazy because I woke up in Mystic Falls on Prison World Day and I actually didn't know in advance. Like I hadn't crossed my mind. And I woke up and I saw people posting that it was Prison World Day. And I was like, oh my gosh, seeing her pull up in Damon's car to Bell's on Prison World Day was just like such a surreal experience. Like the entire time I was just staying there like, oh my God, like this is actually insane. Like I can't even process how cool this is. Also, I went on like a little vacation for 2 weeks. My great aunt owns like a beach condo, like a little bit further south from where I live. So we went on a little vacation and stayed there for 2 weeks and it was really fun. And I read a lot of books, so I enjoyed that.
For me, May was kind of a rough month, but my highlight was that I met Sydney Sweeney literally in my hometown, like downtown where we go all the time. She was here. I think she was shooting a movie. And I mentioned this in another episode. Anyways, we were looking for her and gave up. And then we got ice cream and she literally walked in. And I was like, because like it's Sydney Sweeney and I've watched her in a few different shows and I love her. And just meeting her and talking to her in person was crazy. And it was so unexpected. Like in your hometown, like what are the chances? What
Yeah,
are the chances?
I still remember like seeing you post the selfie with her and I was like, oh my God, like I was freaking out for you.
Crazy, yeah.
And then we have two kind of pop culture moments. So the first one is May is when the writers' strike started. And then obviously after that, the actor strike started. So those were pretty big. And then
we have Queen Charlotte. That came out in May. It's a show on Netflix. Yeah?
Yeah, it's like it's a spinoff of Bridgerton.
I've seen it. Yeah, what am I saying? I don't know why I'm questioning myself. Queen Charlotte came out in May.
Yeah, it's the prequel to Bridgerton about Queen Charlotte's story and George. Yeah.
George.
So, big moment for Bridgerton fans, including me. There are a lot of them in the world.
Yeah.
All right, and moving on, we've got June. What would you say is your highlight from June?
Okay, again, I have two, but they're like small. I feel like I just had to throw both of them in. First one is I went to Gov Ball, and it's called Governor's Ball, but everyone just calls it Gov Ball. It was a huge like music festival in New York, and I saw a bunch of different singers, and that was really fun. I went with a few of my friends, and then I also got a puppy. I got a baby golden retriever. Her name's Noodle, and I was just so shocked when my mom told me we were getting a puppy, and then we went to pick her up, and now we have her. She's so cute.
And then mine is I was in LA again and I went to go. So the show I was talking about, Shadow and Bone, the author of the books, her name's Leigh Bardugo, and she posted that if you were in LA and you wanted to come to help support the writers' strike and like help walk the picket lines and stuff, she would like sign books and she had some free merch to give out just for Shadow and Bone fans and stuff. And so I saw it and a couple of the actors had liked the Instagram post that like the actors from the show. And I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if they showed up? And so I was in LA and I went and I was like honestly just so excited to meet her. Like it was so crazy just to meet her because she like created my favorite universe, my favorite characters. So I was like freaking out, like crying basically just meeting her. And then I can't even like it's still so crazy to think about.
It's and so crazy for me to think about for you.
Yeah, like it's so insane like that one of the actors did actually show up and I got to meet Ben Barnes, who's one of my favorites. And I literally like I can't even like still can't even process it. Like I looked up and I saw him standing there, and it was like just the most surreal experience of my life. If you want to hear more about it, we talk about meeting Sydney Sweeney and meeting Ben Barnes in the Starstruck episode of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like
So crazy, like how these things happen, like when you least expect them to. I feel like it's just mind-boggling to me.
our pop culture moment was Niall's new album. The show came out, and I remember like on the flight to LA that trip, I listened to Niall's new album like the entire flight, and it was like a 5-hour flight, and I just sat there and listened to the show over and over and over again. So that's what I'd say is the pop culture moment of
Yes, for sure.
June.
Moving on to July, Midsummer. What do you got?
So first off, like beginning of July, I got to see Louis Tomlinson in concert, and that was so much fun. I'd never seen him in concert before, and I was pit, and I ended up getting like the way they organize you for pit, you get numbers on wristbands, and me and my friend ended up getting numbers 1 and 2, which was like the craziest thing ever. So we were like literally got first dibs on the pit on where we wanted to stand and stuff. So
That's
that was
insane.
insane. And then I got invited to a really cool event in LA, and it was so much fun. It was the like unveiling of Harry's new wax figure. They did like little unveiling parties, and they invited like content creators that post about Harry, and they invited me, and it was really cool. So that's mine. What's yours?
Yeah. Mine is, okay, people might think I'm a little crazy for this, but I'm a big Drake fan. Like, he's my favorite singer. And so I already had tickets to a concert in August, but there was one in New York City, and I was like, I really want to go, but we didn't have tickets. So, and also at the time I was at my lake house, so I drove home. I drove to the train station. My friend met me there. We took the train into New York, just us at night. It was very risky. And we were trying to find Drake tickets outside of the concert. And after, like, the concert was already an hour in, and this guy finally, like, offered to get us in and, like, give us tickets to the concert. And we got in. Like, we paid $150 each, but I'm like, I have to see Drake. And I was like, I really want my friend to see Drake. So it was a crazy experience, but we got what we wanted. That's all that matters.
I've heard so many stories of people like showing up to concerts without tickets, and
Without
they managed
tickets.
to get some. Yeah.
I can't believe like I was in that situation because I've always like seen people do that, and just like being the person who's actually going without tickets, like we almost lost hope. Like we were so close to just going home, but I was like, why would we take a train all the way here and not get tickets? Never back down. Never give up.
Never give up.
And then for our pop culture moment, I also wrote this in, is The Summer Too Pretty came out in July. Amazing. I love The Summer Too Pretty. I was so excited for that.
Yeah, the new episodes started coming out. And then also, this is like a huge one, Barbenheimer. So the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer came out on the same day in June or July. Sorry. They came out on the same day in July. So that was crazy. Big pop culture moment.
Yeah, it was a big pop culture month, I feel like.
It really was. A lot happened in July. Yeah. And let's move on to August.
All right. One of my highlights was I went to Florida and I stayed with Addison, and it was so fun because I was with Addison and Kiara, and just like getting to go to Florida, like it was just so fun for me. And then
it was a fun trip.
It was good. And I saw Drake in concert again, the full concert that I had tickets for.
So first I found out that, I have been like a Taylor fan for like literally since I was a child. Like her first album came out the year that I was born. I have never lived without Taylor Swift, and I've been a huge fan since I was literally an infant. I've been listening to Taylor Swift. And when she announced the Eras tour, I was so excited, and I never got tickets, and I'd pretty much given up hope. I was like, I'm just not getting tickets. It's not going to happen. Like, I'd just given up hope. And she announced the new dates. If you tried to get tickets for the new dates, you would know that they only gave out codes to like the people that actually ended up getting tickets. Like, I don't know of anyone who got a code and didn't get tickets, and we didn't get a code. My mom didn't get a code. I didn't get a code. I don't think my dad got one either. But luckily, someone my mom knows had a friend who got a code, and they also got a code, and they didn't need both codes. So they let my mom use one of the codes, and she ended up being able to get tickets to one of the New Orleans concerts. So
Yay!
I found out that I was getting Taylor Swift tickets, and that was definitely a highlight. I definitely cried. It was very emotional for me. And then also, I got to go to New Orleans for the first time, actually, for a TVD convention, and I got to see Daniel. So that's my other one. It's just
perfection. It's always a good time when you see Daniel.
It's always a good time. Okay, and then for the pop culture moment, Heartstopper season 2 came out, so that was really fun. I loved getting to see all those characters again because it's just such a cute little show, and that's all I could think of for August. Maybe I'm missing something, but that
I
was the
feel
one
like
that I
there
thought of.
might be something, but I can't think of anything off the top
Yeah,
of my head. But
yeah. Olivia Rodrigo announced Guts, but it didn't come out yet.
yeah. Oh, she did. That's right. Right. Moving on to September. I feel like this is when the year starts to get like really good. I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you have?
So September is my birthday month, and for my birthday this year, we went to Covington, and I had some friends with me, and we did like a bunch of cool stuff in Covington, and I got to have like a birthday dinner on the rooftop of the Mystic Grill, and my cake was like so cool. It was just a great birthday. Like it was just like a really packed day of fun stuff. So I would say that's my highlight.
Yeah, definitely. The cake was so cool. Like I remember seeing that. I was like, I need that cake right now. Okay, September, like it wasn't like I had nothing huge happen, but like obviously like going back to school, like I was excited. Like I was starting my senior year of high school. That's crazy. And then I was literally like just hanging out with my friends every single day. And I love my friends, so it was just a wholesome month for me with friends. And then for the pop culture moment, Guts by Olivia Rodrigo officially dropped. So good.
I know. I feel like we waited so long from Sour to Guts, but it was
I
worth it because Guts
know.
is so good.
It's really good.
And moving on to October, what would you say is your highlight of October?
My highlight was definitely Halloween because I did a huge like group costume with my girlfriends. We were Men in Black and it just came together so well and we went to a Halloween party and it was so much fun. So, definitely my highlight of October. I love
Yeah, Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween is a great. Halloween's my favorite holiday. So, and for me, so the first thing was I got to make videos with a replica car of Baby from Supernatural, and that was like so cool. Like we went to a graveyard, and I just got like free range to make videos with the car, and it was so much fun. And I got to drive it, and like love Baby. Like it's just so cool. Like I just am obsessed with that car. It's such a cool car. Like it's even cooler when Dean Winchester is driving it. But
For
it was just
sure.
like because we were in the graveyard and it was like the weather that day was perfect. Like it was kind of gloomy, and so it literally looked like you were in an episode of Supernatural, and it was just so freaking cool. But then also I got to go to the Bahamas, and it was my first time ever leaving the country, and it was like the first time I've ever seen like crystal clear water like at a beach.
Yeah.
So it was, and I love the beach and I love the ocean. So it was so much fun, and it was just such a great trip. Like it was a perfect vacation. I had such a good time. Other than the fact that when we got there, I got bitten by bugs. I had bug
Oh,
bites like the
the
first few days of the
bugs.
trip. Yeah, I had.
So bad.
Luckily, they weren't like horrible. Like they could have been worse. So it was fine, and the trip was still amazing. So it was really cool.
Yay.
All right, and for pop culture moments, we've got 1989 Taylor's version came out, and the Eras Tour movie came out in theaters. So again, the year of Taylor Swift, she
Yes,
dominated.
literally. She
And
ate this
October,
year up.
yeah, October was like such a good month. So
It was. Like I feel like September to December are like the prime time months.
yeah.
I don't know.
And next after October
November.
comes November. So I got to go to a Supernatural convention in November, and I met Jensen for the first time, which is obviously like the total highlight is just meeting Jensen, but I got to meet the rest of the Supernatural cast as well. I got to meet Misha and I got to meet Jared. It was just so cool getting to meet everyone, like my first time seeing some of the Supernatural cast in person. So that's mine.
That's so fun. I actually went on a trip. I go to New York like a good amount, I feel like, but I went this time with my friends. We went to the city for my friend's birthday and it was just such a well spent day. Like we went to a bagel shop and then we went shopping all day and then we went out to eat and I love the city and it was just so fun. I loved it. And then for our pop culture moment, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, which is like such a huge like movie. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people were waiting for.
Yeah, it's such a huge moment just cuz it's like
Like come back to life,
yeah, like
basically.
bringing that world back was just crazy. I still am obsessed with it. So, yeah, definitely a big moment. And last but not least, we've got December. What is your highlight for December?
I'm adding this again. I can't believe the year is like literally over. But obviously going to I Was Feeling Festive, the convention. We've literally been waiting for that for months and just the fact that we got to be I got to be in Mystic Falls during Christmas and to go to the convention and meet like all these big stars. It was just so surreal. It was insane. I'll never
Yeah,
forget it.
I love Covington during Christmas time, and it was such a good con. Like, I don't know, it
Mhm.
was just like it was so magical and so much fun. And for me, obviously the same. I got to see Daniel again. That's always a highlight. And I got to meet Chris Wood. We both did, but I love Chris Wood so much. I still can't believe that happened. But just the entire I Was Feeling Festive convention was magical. So that's also mine for December. For our pop culture moment of December, Miss Taylor Swift got named Person of the Year, which is fitting. Like we said,
Wow.
it's the year of Taylor Swift. So that's like crazy. Go Taylor.
Go her. Like, honestly, like, the success she has is mind-blowing to me. Like, I've said, like, I'm not, like, a huge Taylor Swift fan, but just, like, seeing her and, like, all she's accomplished is kind of crazy. It's
Girl
crazy.
power.
In a good way. Girl power, yes.
Yeah.
All right, and to close this episode up, we have our top moments of the whole year. So, what would you say your top moment is?
I feel like mine's gotta be a tie between meeting Ben Barnes because that's just something I never would have expected to have happened. So
Mhm.
it's just like I can't even process it, like I said. So definitely meeting Ben Barnes. And I feel like it kind of ties with just all of my moments with Daniel, but specifically when he called me his number one fan. Like, I just think that those are like such good moments. What are yours?
That's so good. Wow. Mine is also a tie between two people. It's literally meeting Nina Dobrev and Chris Wood. These are like two of my favorite people in all of Vampire Diaries. Obviously Ian, but like meeting Nina, the star of the show, and Chris Wood, like just mind blowing. Like I never thought I'd meet either of them, and the fact that I got the opportunity to meet them, crazy. I was so starstruck. It was
Yeah.
insane. That's the only
I
word I can use.
Yeah, I think Chris Wood goes on my list too for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Chris freaking Wood,
Just
man. All right, well, that is everything. That's our recap of 2023 with us. And I wanted to say that while you're watching this or when you're done watching this, I want you to go on Instagram, post a picture of the top moment of your year and tag us, post it on your story, tag notyouravagefangirl.pod. We want to see your guys' top moments too. So please share them with us on
yes.
Instagram. And our TikTok is the same username. If you don't already follow the Not Your Average Fangirl accounts, go check those out. And my
Yes.
personal Instagram is Addi.asks, and my TikTok is Addison.Brienne and Grace.
And my TikTok and Instagram is live love Ian Somerhalder. Yeah. Have the
Cool.
best new year ever.
And we will see you guys in January of 2024.
Bye.
Bye.